Today, I'm going to tell you who we are as a people in the entire world, not just what America told us we were. We are one of the wealthiest ethnic groups in the world with 1.8 trillion in spending power. We have more amongst ourselves than most countries in the world's GDP. If we practice group economics, we would all be pretty wealthy in the next 6 months if we simply worked with each other and gave our money to each other instead of letting it leave our communities. We are the number one cultural leaders in the world. We have one of the greatest admixtures from different tribes and different genetics from all over the world with all three races. Whether you believe those tribes are from America, from Africa, or whomever, unfortunately, we also have the other people that we are clearly have an admixture with, and that's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. We have all religions that were created within ourselves. Some of us were Moors, some of us practice spirituality, some of us practice Christianity, and amongst other things like hoodoo or what have you. We are the number one most copied ethnic group in the entire world. That is just a fact. Also, we are one of the number one world orators in the world. Our speeches, Martin Luther King's speech is the most researched speech, I Have a Dream speech in the entire world. Malcolm X is the most Googled person in the entire world. Think about hip hop, think about the Black Panthers, think about how all the presidents tried to copy our speech and our cadence. Think about the Black preachers. Unfortunately, they use that not always for our good. But just look at us as orators, and we're some of the greatest orators in the world. After that, we are the number one Olympian medalists per capita. The United States has the most Olympic medals out of every country, and that's because of us. We have the most medals per capita in terms of as Olympians. We're one of the least brainwashed of the world. We're one of the people who understand that colorism is not normalized. It shouldn't be normalized. We know that we are not, as a whole, we know that we should not be feeling inferior to anybody because we should feel good about ourselves as human beings and where we come from in our culture and our history. So we don't really believe in our own inferiority as a rule of thumb. We may have things we're working through because of trauma and because we were whipped into that submission, but that's not what in our hearts we truly believe, except for a few of us that are raccoons, and what can you do about that? So we have not normalized a colonized mind where we really think like we know that we should do better. We are always striving to do better. We're also the first ethnic group to attend. We had one of the first attorneys in the world besides, of course, if we're talking about modern world, in terms of ethnic groups, 1844, look it up. The first Asian attorney was 1886. The first Hispanic attorney was 1952, and this is in America. The first Black doctor was recorded in 1837 in America. So just understand that we've done a lot of the first. Our law school was created, our first law school was, I think it was 1869. Medical schools, things like that. We did the first national anthem in America. So just understand who you are. A lot of times, people want to think, take advantage of the opportunities in America. But what they don't understand is that we've been done this. Like, you're new to this. We've been doing this for over a century. We're a century and a half into this. We've had this going on for a long time. We don't have to prove anything to people like other people who come to this country do. We don't have to prove that we can be this or be that. We've had medical schools. We've had law schools. We've had engineers. We've had doctors since literally 1844 and 1837. So it's going to be 2 centuries since we've had the first licensed Black medical doctor in 37. So it's in 12 years, it'll be 2 centuries. So please stop confusing us with other people who have just come to this country and have to prove something to themselves. We've already done it, been there, done it. We've moved on to exploring who we are on Maslow's hierarchy and what we want to explore as a person. We definitely should have more of our doctors, more of our attorneys. That would just be great, and engineers. However, to try to say that we didn't take advantage of opportunities when we created the opportunities for people here is weird, because we created the opportunities. So how do you mean we're not taking advantage of them when we made them? Literally created them. So I think that you guys should do more American history, research a little bit better, get a little bit more accurate with your stuff. For example, my grandfather was a doctor. So, and he was born, I think, in 1911. So I need you guys to stop thinking that you're competing with us when you can't. We have already a century and a half over you, and we're about to have 2 centuries, and that's okay. I just wish you guys would stop competing with us, because we're not competing with you. There's no competition. We've already done it. Whatever you're trying to do, we've already done it. We're in a different place. We're not immigrants.